Hello, family. I'm just making sure I'm live on all platforms. I'm using StreamYard and it's a new software I just invested in so that I can go live on multiple platforms. It helps save so much time, like having to download and re upload to different platforms. So just give me a second to make sure I'm all set everywhere. Perfect. All right. So, good day, everybody. I hope you're well. So, I want to talk about how, hold on, go back to StreamYard. Okay, there we are. All right. Hello. Sorry. I'm still learning and navigating these new systems. So, I've made a commitment to show up every day. And this is something I am passionate about. It's something I've been doing long enough. And I guess, want to be more of service and just put myself out here to help. I've been on a health journey for a long enough time, and it hasn't been easy, and I get stronger with every day. I put the effort in, but I have not been perfect. And I just feel like there's so many people who want to start health journeys and they're struggling. Like they have started, they're on their path, but they're slipping. They're falling, they can't get up, but then they get up and, and go through the cycles. And I can relate. I've been there, so we here to talk about it. So hold on, what did I say today's topic is? So the body is a bank and food is the currency. Let me see if I can find the comments. Okay. So yeah, food. Not everything that we consider food is food. Um I don't want this showing. Not everything that we consider food is food. Food is currency, though. Food has energy attracted or attached to it, rather. So there's high vibrational food and there is low vibrational food. Think of gas, right? You have a car, probably, or you ride in transportation. And the quality of your vehicle, the maintenance of that vehicle, it's all based on the maintenance of that vehicle, right? So, long story short, when you have a car, you've invested a lot of money to have and maintain that vehicle so that you can have a safe trip everywhere you go and so that it can last you the longest time so that you are getting a return on your investment. So you're going to put high quality fuel in that vehicle. Yes. And we all probably at some point in our life been there where we didn't take very good care of our cars, where we weren't getting oil changes when we were supposed to be getting oil changes, getting tune-ups when we're supposed to be getting tune-ups. And then we learned the hard way, yeah, I can't do this because, I just have to keep bringing this car to get fixed every 1 to 2 months. And the older the car gets, you have to take care of it the most. We are physically not getting any younger. However, self-preservation is making sure that the quality of your current life choices is an investment in your future quality of life. So I find it that when I am disciplined enough to consume high vibrational food, which is raw fruits, raw vegetables. And even if I am eating cooked food, it's whole food, plant based. When I am eating like that, I notice that my energy levels in my body typically maintain, and I'm feeling pretty good on a day to day basis. But I can almost, it's like I have instant karma when it comes to food, because as soon as I start eating for my pleasure, uh, as soon as I'm eating for my pleasure and eating something because it's just delicious, and but I'm not being mindful or conscious about the quality of that food, what happens to me is I can feel my vitality go down almost instantaneously. And if I haven't been, like if I start cleansing and my body is finally in that healing and repairing state, and I can genuinely feel it when I get up, like I'm getting up earlier, my mind is a whole lot clearer. I have like all of this energy, like I can feel it. But sometimes I forget, right? Sometimes I forget. Sometimes I forget where I came from, and I get comfortable in how good I feel. And then those nostalgic feelings in my mind come up. Like if it's a nice, hot, sunny day and I'm feeling good physically, I'm in a good mood, I look good because I've been eating clean. So, I look good, I throw on a cute outfit. I want to do what I used to do when I was that like less health conscious version of myself, which is like go out and treat myself to a meal. That's my way of enjoying a good day. That was my way. Like my hobby was like eating out, basically. I didn't have hobbies. Like I didn't have other passions or interests. So I loved to tickle my fancies with food and beverage, going out to drink and probably smoking, and then going out to a restaurant, trying a new little place like a hibachi place or Jamaican place or something like that, and eating and enjoying that food. Well, those drugs, because it's not food. If it's heavily salted and it's got all this oil and all this fat and all these sugars, it's not food. That's things that we consume for pleasure. And just to let you know, I cannot see comments right now, so I'm gonna just be in a free flow of thought. So the food that we eat is mightily important, especially as we age, because when we're younger, we have faster metabolisms and our bodies just kind of burn things. But even though we're young, and just because our body burns a lot of the stuff that we eat, doesn't necessarily mean that there isn't a karmic debt to pay in the future. Because I started exhibiting instant karma from my food choices very early on, because a lot of my health issues are concentrated in my womb area. Like since like preteen, as soon as I was able to like get a menstrual cycle, as soon as I started bleeding every month, it was indicative. Like the quality of that experience was definitely a reflection of how I was eating at that young age. So, I come from an African American household. We eat the typical African American household diet, which was your typical traditional fried chickens, mac and cheese. We'd have greens, but, there'd be some sort of meat in it, like ham or turkey or, something like that, turkey legs or something like that, or just pasta and spaghetti, lasagna, just things that most people eat in an average American household, but also a lot of African American food staples. And that's what I ate as a child. That's what I ate as a preteen. That's what I ate as a teenager. That's what I ate as a young adult. A lot of seafood, a lot of pizza, steak and cheese sub. As soon as I got my first job, it was a wrap. Most of my money went to junk food, basically. But my menstrual cycles were heavy, long, painful, nauseating, just intoxicating. Like I was sick. I would like literally throw up, all of that. So it like I started off real young, like being affected by a poor quality diet. So I say all that to say that what we eat truly matters, even if it doesn't seem like it. One thing when I was younger, though, is I ate a lot, but I always stayed super skinny. I didn't start gaining weight until after my hormonal issues got so bad that I had to have an emergency surgery to take out like half of my reproductive organs. I had like a oophorectomy, which was I had to have my left side ovaries and left side fallopian tubes, tube removed. So I have my right side and I have my uterus, so I am able to reproduce. If like I have that chance of reproduction, or like, having a baby. However, it's going to be just like twice as hard because, you know, so eating like that destroyed my hormonal system, and I had to have an emergency surgery because I developed a endometrioma. So the quality of what I was putting inside of me just targets my hormone balance, and it targets my womb area. So I had to learn the hard way that what I put inside of me genuinely and truly matters. And even while knowing that, battling the addiction of the stuff that we call food that's really drugs made it so hard to still make good choices for myself. And I started making good choices for myself because I literally had no choice but to. So I like to talk about this very openly because I want to save people from the worst, for it coming to the worst for you to start making choices, because that is in a lot of ways the only way I tend to start doing what's best for me. It's historically not been out of love. It's been historically out of fear. And now I am evolving to this place where it is genuinely out of love for myself, because now I have hobbies, right? Now I've abstained long enough from self-destructive behavior, like drinking alcohol and smoking and eating toxic animal products and consuming dairy. And, I still will go in cycles. Oh, I have in the past, at least. Right now, I'm on my watermelon. I'm actually doing all watermelon juice right now. I'm on my third day of watermelon juice. So I have to go to the grocery store after this and re-up on some seeded watermelon. I'm excited. I got up feeling so good today. Can I tell you, the past 2 to 3 days have been insufferable. They've been so hard. They have been hard. When I tell you, overcoming the addiction to drugs. When I say drugs, I'm not talking about heroin. I'm not talking about crack. I'm not talking about fentanyl. I'm not talking about weed. I'm not talking about the scheduled drugs that they have regulated on a governmental level. I'm talking about the drugs that they do regulate at the Food and Drug Administration. And it's funny how they call it the Food and Drug Administration. Why would they classify food with drugs for them to administrate if they're not allowing drugs in the food? So they're putting drugs in the food so that we can have a physical dependency and addiction and affinity to things that are harmful to our bodies. See, drugs, they act like drugs is medication, when drugs is basically just a treatment. And you're treating you're treating ailments that's caused by the food that they put drugs in, with actual drugs that are petroleum based products used, literally petroleum based, like oil. So you have The same stuff you're fueling your cars with, they're also giving you to treat your cancer, treat your diabetes, treat all of these degenerative health issues that have been created by the fake food that they're calling food, but it's not food, it's drugs. The only thing that you can genuinely classify as food is what is grown from the earth, what comes from the dirt, what comes from the trees. That is food. Only God can create food. Man cannot create food. Man can be creative and call it food. And we can take what comes from the dirt and be creative and create cuisine. But cuisine and putting fire to food has genuinely degenerated our health and has devolved us as a human species. And the only thing that seems to really be regenerating people on a cellular level is by cleansing the body of the toxins that is inside of the drugs that they call food. So what has been getting me through this watermelon challenge is really internalizing the idea that what I am craving is drugs. It's not food. So when I am going through those intense cravings and I want to cry because I literally just need a hit, a little taste, basically, of the salt, of the sugar, of the oils, of the fats, of the texture, of the wheat products, and all of these things that we have been conditioned to believe is food, I really have started on a conscious level, my higher self, parenting my physical body, telling the little child, bratty child, whiny baby inside of me that wants to do what's not best for me. I have to parent that inner child. I have to say no to the little parasites or whatever inside of me that's throwing a hissy fit and like latching on to my vagus nerve and communicating with my, through the enteric nervous system and communicating with my, what is it? Is it the central nervous system? All I know is it's communicating with my brain and telling me, you better eat this because I want it right now. And now I have to tap into my higher self. I have to really be in touch with God. I have to really get up there in my psyche and really be like, no, this is an addiction. Like that is a withdrawal symptom. And I have to really start thinking of myself as a genuine, like, crackhead, like a heroin addict. The people who be out there looking like zombies outside, I am no different than them. The only difference is that what I am consuming is more socially acceptable because there are crack houses on every corner. We just call them restaurants, basically. It's not like those are crack houses. So your favorite restaurant, the Mexican spot, that's a crack house. The burger joint, that's a crack house. Yeah. Your favorite place is a crack house. And I have to internalize that knowing, because it's not a belief, it's a knowing. Those are salt houses. All that stuff is heavily salted, which is why we continue to go there every day and get our dose. That's why because we're eating and consuming something that is literally destroying our quality of life. It's killing our bodies. Salt is so dehydrating. Well, the sodium chloride that they call salt, that's like an industrial molecule that dehydrates us on a cellular level. It's the reason why a lot of us are walking around with elevated blood pressure, why we are hypertensive, why our kidneys aren't functioning the way that why our kidneys aren't functioning the way that they are supposed to. Sorry, my brain is going faster than my mouth can keep up with. And why we are retaining fluids and why we have edema. Like, we have to realize that there is nothing that you can put inside of your body that isn't karmic. Everything is karmic. So when you're eating fruit, you're finally giving your body something that it was designed to consume. And you're not forcing your pancreas. You're not forcing your kidneys. You're not forcing your liver. You're not forcing these organ systems to overwork itself. It's actually working in harmony with our organ systems. And now our bodies can just consume it, actually utilize the nutrients inside of it on a cellular level, especially fruit. Fruit diffuses directly into the blood cell. And everything that we consume, our body's trying to break down into a simple sugar. So our brain can only run off of sugar, simple sugars, and not high fructose corn syrup, not table sugar, not that industrialized crap, but the natural fructose that comes out of a fruit. So it's such a big myth when people say, but what about all the sugar in fruit? You'll get diabetes. That doesn't come from a place of higher knowledge. That comes from being indoctrinated with false information and believing it because it comes from these institutions that give us information where they actually benefit from our ignorance because we believe them and then we live based off of the information that they provide because it's considered conventional knowledge. Think about conventional produce. It's all sprayed with pesticides and everything, but they have to call real fruit and real food organic. So why do you have to call real things organic, but you're calling the poison conventional? So if the poison is conventional and they call their knowledge conventional, don't you think that's poisonous knowledge? We live in the upside down. Everything that's taught to us in these institutions was designed to destroy us. They don't want us to thrive because if we are thriving and if we are thinking for ourselves and if we are independent people, we're not as easy to control. So it's extremely important to learn how to be a free thinker, to know how to research information, and to have some common sense, and to learn how to listen to our bodies. Our bodies communicate with us all the time, and we normalize illness. We normalize symptoms and ailments. We normalize these things. We think it's okay to just be walking around with a random headache. We think it's okay to have back pain. We think it's okay to be tired as hell by noon, by 1 o'clock in the afternoon, not having absolutely any energy. We think it's okay to be walking around here spotting on our pads as women in between periods. We think it's normal to be bloated. We think it's normal to have little pouches on our stomach. We think it's normal to have rolls on our back. We think it's normal. But we criticize people who are health conscious, people who's at least trying to do something that they've never done before to see if it'll work for them because they're getting tired of going to hospitals and being told, yeah, unfortunately, there's nothing we can do about it. There's no cure for this, but we do want to practice this medicine on you. We have this drug that just came out. Research shows that there's promising results, so you go in here and then they're practicing medicine on you, using you as a guinea pig and a lab rat, and you're okay with that. Your central nervous system is more regulated with a doctor telling you that a drug that they're going to practice on you with all of these crazy side effects, you feel more comfortable with that because you've been programmed and conditioned to believe that white coats have all the answers. When in reality, white coats are just medical practitioners. They just practice medicine on you, but they don't ever really heal or cure anybody. And that's a reality. But when people start going to plant-based foods, they're actually starting to not relieve themselves of their symptoms. They're not suppressing their symptoms. They're finally starting the cleansing process. They're removing the old compacted waste that's been sitting inside of their gut over time. And now they're actually no longer experiencing the things that brought them into the doctor's office to begin with. We have to have enough common sense to know that what we put inside of our bodies is going to have a a consequence and effect. We're not sick by happenstance. And they always say, oh, yeah, if you go inside there with like menopausal symptoms or something like that, they'll be like, oh, yeah, well, this is normal for a woman your age. You're about 55. This is normal. You know, about 60% of women start to exhibit these symptoms. That's because 60% of women consume the same standard American disease diets. So just because it's standard doesn't mean it's normal. Let me see if I can see comments. So AB Locke and Brown, I actually did talk about the FDA and identified the FDA earlier on in this talk, but you're absolutely right. So, but I said they preceding the Federal and Drug Administration. Thanks for sharing, because that's my spot, that Mexican restaurant, and that's my feelings right now. I will definitely think of this live, that Mexican restaurant. That's a crack house. I love that. You are welcome, Jamie. It really is. And that's what's been getting me through this challenge. Like, you are a drug addict. Why would you continue to feed yourself something that you're going to have to wean yourself off of again? Where can I get the juicer you have in the USA? Judith Carter, if you're still on here, you can get the juicer at Nama J2. Last month, I bled very lightly for 4 days last week. I ate 3 times at a Mexican restaurant and just started my cycle 3 days ago and bled heavy the first 2 days. See, Jamie, that's your body communicating with you. Absolutely. Yep. Hi, yoga, sis. So, yeah, it's like, it's crazy how addicted we are. But the beautiful part, right, is we know this. So now that we know better, we can do better. Now, with that knowingness of what the solution is to the problem, we can take control. With that being said, we can start depositing intrinsic value currency in our bodies. And food really is currency because it has an electrical charge and electrical current. Because food, the quality of any object, of any item that we consider food, has energy. So they have this photography called Kirlian photography. And it's a photography where it's a specific camera that can actually show you the frequency, like the aura, the electromagnetic field of any given object. So they did the Kirlian technology on food. So when they took a picture of like a piece of steak, there was like the electromagnetic currency surrounding it. You can see like the amount of light that surrounds it. And you can see the holes in the energy field of the steak. It was very low vibration, and they measure that energy in angstroms. Now, the highest vibrational food with the highest angstroms are fruit, like fresh fruit. And fruit has biophotons. So it's all a part of an electrical system. It's electric foods, and we are electric beings. And it's like we forgot that we're electric beings. And that's why they say that a lot of the things that we're addicted to is acid forming and acidic in nature, because it's acid. And there's only 2 sides to chemistry. There's alkaline and there's acid. So you're either putting what is good for our electrical bodies, our electromagnetic bodies, because we all have an electromagnetic field attached to us as well, that comes from our heart center. So we have a nervous system that's all electric based. Even our heart has electric pulses, electromagnetic pulses. So when they do like an EKG, it's called, what is it, an electrocardiogram? Electrocardiogram. They're seeing the pulses and all of that in our body. Like even when they check your blood pressure, they said beats per minute. This is all like an electric based physical system. So that means we have to eat and what's conductive for our electromagnetic human vessel. So the foods that is more energetically appropriate and harmonious for our physical bodies is electric food, which is going to be what you eat off of a tree, which is going to be what comes out of the dirt, because that was all electrically created foods by the sun and the water, the photosynthesis process. And that's why there are biophotons in the food. If your food doesn't have biophotons, it wasn't meant for human consumption. It wasn't designed for our biological vessels, our electrobiological vessels. So we have to start eating in a common sense way, and we have to genuinely understand our human bodies and understand that a lot of what we have been conditioned to consume and see as food is just drugs. They're acid forming, and they are the direct reason why we are deteriorating physically. So it's time to start seeing our body as a bank and start seeing the currency that we are making deposits into that body bank. We have to really start seeing it as currency, as current, as actual food. And that is what is, every time we put a deposit into our body, which is when you eat an apple, that's a deposit. If you cannot eat something raw, it is not food. Absolutely. Orville Douglas is like the GOAT. Let me see if I can actually bring that up here. You are so right, Drake the Great. So when you're eating an apple, that is a deposit into your body bank. When you're eating grapes, that is a deposit into your body bank. And when I say a deposit, I mean like a net, like it's a net positive. You are investing in a higher quality of life over time. When you are eating watermelon, you are making a deposit. When you eat a pizza, you are taking out, that is a withdrawal of life force energy. When you eat tacos, beef tacos, shrimp tacos, fish tacos, you are taking, that is a withdrawal from your life force energy. So you are either extending your quality of life over time by the delayed gratification of eating drugs, something that just feels really good, going to give you that quick dopamine hit. They call it dopamine, right? Because it's dope. That's why they call dope drugs. So when you're eating tacos, you're eating drugs. Tacos aren't food. Pizza isn't food. I mean, unless you're doing raw tacos, if you're using a piece of lettuce as a wrap and you're doing some walnut crumbles. Bobby. So you're either depositing or taking out when you are eating. So when you are eating high vibrational food with high angstroms, over 20,000 angstroms, and that's going to be your fresh fruit. And even vegetables, they're still high vibrational, but they're not as high vibrational as fruit. And there's this misconception. Every time people say, oh, I've been eating healthy, I've been eating my vegetables, they always focus on vegetables. They act like fruit is just a snack. People are afraid of fruit. People are really afraid of the sugar in fruit. And it's so hilarious that people think that actually, I don't think it's hilarious. I think it's great that when people say that they're eating a lot of vegetable, because if that's what they believe is healthy, it is healthy, depending on where they're coming from. However, if you really want to supercharge your health journey, you have to focus on fruit because it's way more higher vibrational. It has more biophotons. It is more astringent. And we have to think about the decades of choices of taking deposits out of our body with the standard American diet, food choices, drug choices. And we have to realize that we have to start cleansing out the gut. So when you first start eating fruit, you're going to get the benefits from it, but it's just going to be because you're cleansing out your body. You're releasing your toxic load. So because you're releasing your toxic load, you're going to increase your energy levels. You're going to have more mental clarity because you're not going to have as much junk occupying your body. But it's really going to be in the consistency of maintaining these dietary choices over time, where we're really going to start seeing the change, because on a cellular level, as our bodies regenerate, we're regenerating with a different and higher quality currency, versus, because we are what we eat. Our cells are constantly changing and regenerating and replacing itself, but it can only replace itself with the quality of what we put inside of it. So if what you're putting inside of it is all acid forming and it's all drugs, then that's why you have degenerated cells. That's why you are getting progressively sicker and weaker over time. But when you're putting high vibrational electric foods that is more harmonious with how our bodies were operated to how they were operated to function naturally, then your cells are going to regenerate and create new cells with apples and grapes, with things that have like a high electric content, have biophotons, just have that high energy. And we are what we eat. So if you're low energy, it's because you're eating drugs, and it's because you're constantly withdrawing from your body's bank versus making a deposit of what it was actually designed to eat. And not only is just the fruits and the vegetables, but herbs are super powerful when it comes to our body's bank. I understand that, herbs are considered to be kind of toxic to the body because they help you purge. But sometimes our bodies need help purging because you're still releasing waste. My favorite herb that I never forget to take, my A game, A game herbal. And that's Chinese traditional medicine. Those are all bitter herbs. And bitter herbs are the best herbs for our bodies, whether they're Chinese traditional or not. Like if I'm not doing Chinese traditional herbs, I'm doing the burdock roots, the yellow dock, the sarsaparilla. Those are all nasty as hell, but they are good for us. But my A game, I'm up ready to teach because of A game. It just does something to my brain. I'm super grateful for A game herbal. And the reason why I'm grateful for it is because it's one of those things. A lot of people, they have like ADHD. They can't focus. They can't be consistent in life because they have so much mental fog. And what I appreciate about A game is that it's like uplifting. It's like a serotonin boost that I get within 20 to 30 minutes. The immense amount of energy it gives me, while it basically supplements what the watermelon is already doing for me naturally. It just like supercharges it. And it just gives me so much focus. Like I can't explain it, but all I can say is that I'm grateful for it because it allows me to just kind of like, it's like an herbal form of gratitude. Like, it's like, ooh, once I can feel those effects of it, it's like, you know what? I feel good. I'm like highly energetic. I'm over here dancing. I want to play music. I'm thinking about all the things that I need to do today. It's like Adderall in an herbal form, basically. But I've been on here for a minute. I might be winding down and logging off. I don't see any more comments. So thank y'all for listening. It was nice talking to you guys. I intend to show up every day. Not only does this motivate you guys, but it also motivates me. It keeps me on track. It's everything that I say out loud is also an affirmation that vibrates internally, and it communicates with my cells as well. So I love you guys so much. Thank you for your attention. I appreciate it. And I hope you have a wonderful day. And I highly encourage you to make some deposits in your body today versus withdrawals. Peace. I love you. Bye. Oh, and if you are interested in A Game Herbal, reach out to me directly. I will send you an inbox because I do have an affiliate link for this and a 15% discount code. And this is a genuine investment, not only in your health, but in your mental health. So, peace. Love you. Bye.